Hello, hello, Mixed Combat Radio family and Beauty Boxing family and Texas Boxing family. Lovely little collaboration here. Obviously, hit the like button, share the show, all that fun stuff. I am Matthew Hunter from Mixed Combat Radio, joined by my lovely two co-hosts on today's show, live on patreon.com/Trending Now Network. It will be uploaded for free on all of our three respective YouTube channels, so make sure you go check that out as well. But without further ado, a lot to get into. Of course, Stevenson fighting, Kenshiro in Japan. Shout out to Kenshiro. Doesn't get his respect. Sebastian Fundora, the freakish athletic giant that he is, he's fighting. I'm always excited for Sebastian Fundora. Can't wait for him to fight Jamel Charlo. A lot to get into on today's show. Without further ado, let me get to my lovely co-host, Melody Joy from the Beauty of Boxing. Melody, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing well. Doing well.
We got lots of news.
Not really.
No, there's lots of fights this weekend.
Sure.
How are we gonna? Well, I'm gonna schedule it all out. It's a lot of fights. Four main events at least, but one is in Japan, so
that's a different time of the day. But three of them all competing. Sebastian Fundora, obviously on Showtime. We have obviously Bam Rodriguez. I know Gary. That's his marquee fight of the weekend over in San Antonio, Texas. That's obviously on DAZN. And Shakur Stevenson fighting in Newark, his hometown, on ESPN. All three competing at the same time. So have fun trying to schedule that one out. Gary from Dallas. Gary, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I'll be in San Antonio for the BAM fight. Not a ton of news, but we got an action-packed weekend. The DAZN card and the PBC card are really good. I don't know much about the guy Shakur's fighting. I don't think he's ever fought in the States, right? He's only fought in Japan.
I think so.
So I don't know much about him. I'm not expecting much. I'm sure it's just, it's get him ready for Haney, assuming Haney beats Loma. I guess. I mean, that's what we're doing here, right?
Is that what we're doing?
I would imagine.
Look at that card. Just a setup. It's cute. It's a cute card.
I just don't want Haney Shakur. Is that weird of me?
You don't want Haney?
That's
Shakur?
Not the fight I want next.
No, I don't want that either.
Like, if Haney beats Loma, please, for the love of God, have him fight the winner of Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia.
Loma?
That's
if Devin Haney wins. If Loma wins, it's going to be in-house, so he's going to fight Shakur no matter what. That's an obvious fight that Top Rank and ESPN are going to make. But Haney's not Top Rank, right? Haney's with Matchroom.
Well, he's fight, but no. He's with Top Rank now.
Oh, he is.
Then it's fight by fight. Then he's a free agent. But yeah, he had a 2-fight deal with Top Rank. Yeah, he hasn't been with Matchroom since.
Matchroom lost everyone.
He'll be back.
Matchroom USA is suffering, man.
When he fought he fought Joseph Diaz in late 2021, and then in 2022, in order to get the that was his last fight with the with Matchroom. That was the end of his deal, and he was a free agent. And if he wanted the Kambosos fight, he had to sign a 2-fight deal with Top Rank.
Well, that was smart of Top Rank.
That fight and the rematch. But now he's a free agent, so now he can fight anyone he wants.
So after
I guess he's not technically with Top Rank ananymore. He's a free agent, I suppose.
Okay, so after this Loma fight, he won't be a Top Rank. Okay.
Right.
And he can do what he wants.
I mean, if you're Devin Haney, I know we're kind of...
Doesn't he have his own promotion? He
technically does, yes. So I don't know, really, how the co-promotional deal works out, because you know how it's always different. But if you're Devin Haney, why wouldn't you go fight a pay-per-view fight against the winner of Ryan and Tank, right? Because that's the money fight. Comparative to Shakur.
Can we carve out a little time to talk about this pay-per-view model? Because there's no way they're making money off this anymore. They just can't be. Can we carve out? Because it's ridiculous the amount of pay. You're going to buy 2 pay-per-views a month now? It's out of control. No one's buying them. Or they get 100,000. Say, okay, 100,000 is a disaster. Right? But they just bombarded the market with it, right? How are they making money off of this? 100,000 pay-per-view sales at $70 a pop is $7 million for the entire show.
The way I've always been explained to, and the way that I know about it from the local scene doing local pay-per-views, is that once you do pay-per-view, it offsets the production cost drastically. Because then the production company is going to take on the expense because they're reaping the rewards. they're taking a higher percentage, most likely. At least in the local scene, they're taking a far higher percentage than the promoter. That's why a lot of these local promoters are doing these pay-per-views, because all of a sudden now the camera crew is paid for.
That's $10,000, if not more, taken off immediately from your budget.
And that's the local show. So at the high level,
right?
And now instead of Showtime giving you a budget to work with, right, and then you have to pay all these vendors, all these contractors out, and you have to work within that budget, and then you're going to go over budget, whatever. Now Showtime is taking on that expense completely, because they're going to reap the return on the investment in a large way, and more direct way too. That is kind of why they do it. Now, do they make money? I don't know how they do it, because I mean, we know that on a local scene they don't make money doing these pay-per-views
unless they have enough sponsorships. If you can get enough sponsorships to cover, if you can get like 5 sponsorships that are $5,000 each on the locals, but not on local.
I'm not talking about the promoter now. I'm talking about the network. Because
even the network, if they can get 5 commercials
True.
on their thing, they can reap what they're putting out. That's what they do.
Commercial advertisement.
So they tell us, you guys, whatever your advertisement is, it's cool. It's going to be in-house. It's not going to be shown on our channel. We're going to have our own, you know, and then they have to. That's the only way. I mean, unless it's called money laundering.
Allegedly.
You know,
like, there's also that. Like, sometimes they don't need to make money.
They don't need to make money, right?
Like, they're working off a different economic system than, like, you and me, the average Joe. Like, the idea of making profit isn't necessarily sometimes what they want. Sometimes it's just breaking even, because then you're just cleaning whatever money you put into it. That came from various sources. I mean, that stuff happens.
It's like Top Rank is telling me that $60 for the Haney Loma pay-per-view is good. Okay, how come Teofimo Lopez versus Loma was a better fight because Loma wasn't washed then, was free? If $60 is good, but a better fight just 2 years ago was free. So explain how $60 is good, because you've increased the price $60.
And you also got to pay $84 for Tank.
That's what it's out of control at this point. I mean, like Matt, this is not a country club. This is not tennis. This is not golf, right? This is a sport for blue collar people and poor people, right? Like, I understand. Okay, there are rich people who sit front row. Boxing's not a sport for the for the country club folks. It's not. It never has been. Yes, they will sit ringside at major fights. But
telling me I'm not country club.
The fan base is blue collar.
Are you telling me I'm low class, Gary?
I feel like I'm attacked right now. Like, I feel like, what do you mean?
You guys are the tuxedo people sitting front row at a Mayweather fight, right?
That's not me.
You're right.
Can't afford that shit. But I get on the floor literally because somebody hooked it up.
A large part of it is also, like, I'm speaking from like local experience now. A large part of some of these promotions is like, what's the term? Like angel investors, right? Somebody to throw in $20K, $30K just to sponsor the event, support the show, and they're never gonna make that money back. But that happens.
It's a tax write-off.
You know,
so why wouldn't these people?
Because a lot of these promotions also work up to nonprofits and stuff like that, and they can funnel money that way. I mean, to answer your question, Gary, like, how does this model still around? I mean, it
breaks even for a lot of fucking people.
It does. It breaks even for a lot of people. The people that need to make money are making money.
Yeah.
That's the sad way to put it, you know?
Well, the fire's making money, though, right? Because the guarantee...
The fire's at the top, yes.
Yeah.
Are they making... See, like I said this. The Super Bowl is the biggest sports event of the year in America, by far, right? And it gets 110 million, roughly 110. I think this year was 113 million people that watch it. How many people do you think would watch it if you put an $80 price tag on it? A tenth of that?
Less, but it would still be a big event.
But you're creating... Now you can sell commercials for... What's a 30-second spot for a commercial? $6 million now, right?
Yeah,
like, you can make that money back with commercials, right? And you have a fan base. You're killing the fan base. Well, you're not, because everyone streams it now, right? Like, if you ask someone under the age of 30 like that, the idea of buying a fight for $80. Like my sister-in-law, she's Matt James. I think she's like 26, right? Her boyfriend's a huge sports fan like I am. He doesn't have cable. And I asked him, how do you watch sports every night without cable? And he looked at me like I was like a dinosaur. He's like, I just catch the stream. Like every night? He's like, yeah. Yeah, and that's like that's paying $10 for ESPN and Bally Sports. He's not doing that. But so the idea that he's going to pay $84 for one night of boxing or $74 for one night of boxing is ridiculous. Like it's not. It's like speaking Chinese to a Norwegian. It's like I don't even understand what you're talking about, right? Like we're not even.
Or just Chinese to it.
You know, what I'm saying? Go to China. So
Norwegian.
you go to Norway. It's not speaking Chinese, and it might be a language, right? But like
the
idea that they're going to spend $80 for one night of boxing is like it's the height of absurdity.
It is. I mean,
it's kind of intense.
It's
right now, dude. They're $84 3 years into a fucking pandemic.
Boxing really never came back from the COVID like the other sports did.
No.
Boxing never really came because you had a bubble going into the pandemic. Right? This bubble was going to burst going into the pandemic. Then ESPN pulled money out of everything. The Zone jacked up their prices and pulled money out. And PBC pulled money out. Obviously, I mean, they lost all their Fox money. There's no more PBC on Fox. And there hasn't been since end of 2021. The last PBC on Fox show was that Christmas Eve show on December 21st that had the Vito Malnicki kid. That was their last PBC on Fox.
That was a great event,
non-pay-per-view. Non-pay-per-view.
Blockbuster event. I mean,
but that's what I'm saying.
I mean, the reality is that there's no way to rationalize an irrational system, right? Yeah. So, like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, this is why it makes sense. I'm saying, like, this is how it works.
It doesn't make sense.
I mean, it's like you said, do the fighters make money? I mean, I know
sometimes.
Yeah, but the reality is for a lot of people on the come up, they're paying into a fight and overhead costs, both training, medicals, all that stuff. Or slot fees.
Even at the local level, the amount that these guys are paying like $2,000 to $7,000 to a promoter, a local promoter, to put them on a card. $2,000 to $7,000. Just to cover their remember what's his name? Tito's opponent was like $8,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of money, and they're paying for it. They're paying for that slot there.
Yeah, I mean,
that's local.
The weird way is, Gary, is that like if you don't have angel investors, this sport is not really a blue collar sport. You know, if you think about some of the guys that have made it lately, they've come from a little bit of money.
Yeah.
You know, like Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, those guys came from a little bit of money. Like Ryan's dad paid his son's way in a lot of ways. That's just the reality. And like what Melody's talking about is the aspect of that slot fee when a fighter comes in, and this is not technically really allowed, but a fighter will come in and pay their own purse, pay their opponent's purse, pay the medicals for both sides.
I've been around. I know exactly what you're talking about. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people listening don't, but I've been around the local boxing scene. I know what goes on. Slot fees. You know, I understand. Yeah.
You know, that
he has like 3 or 4 guys paying that on one card, though, here in the local scene. Can you imagine the money that he's raking in? And he's just cutting, and we're cutting even. You know what I mean? And that's 3 or 4 guys raking in at least $7,000 in ticket sales, plus their opponent. They're covering their opponents. They're covering the expenses. They're covering travel.
Let's say to get to 10-0, you're spending over $100,000 to get your fighter to that position.
Mm-hmm.
Relatively speaking, depending on the state, depending on the industry.
And the more money you have, the easier it is.
Absolutely. And then you have guys that don't have that, right? They just get paid the base amount for the A side. The B side gets paid more.
Yeah.
The A side has to pay for his own medicals. The B side gets medicals taken care of by the promoter. You know, if you're on the local scene, it actually there's a reason why there's so many journeymen, because it actually pays to do that. If you're a poor blue collar person, if you're a working class person in boxing, you can't pay your way as an A side. You have to be a B side. So then you don't pay for medicals and you get the bigger purse. But then you're going to get the shit end of the stick on the judges.
Yeah.
You're going to get the harder opponents. You know, it's just the system is brutal. Like, there's no way about it, Gary. Unfortunately, and the pay model, I think, is like the height of that.
Of course,
you work a 40-hour week, and then you gotta take a fight on 3 days' notice, right? And you're gonna fight at whatever weight they tell you to. Right? I get it, right? I've been around it. I've seen all types of things. I've seen things I would never repeat on air.
You know what is this one too? The guy from Maywood, the one that's fighting Kenshiro, he's coming in on like a 2-week notice. You know that he's not supposed to be fighting. He just took this fight on. He's from Maywood here in LA. And he's stablemates with Adrian Alvarado, and of course there's the Japanese champion in their stable.
What's his name?
Junto
Nakatani.
Yes, he's in their stable.
Yes,
and he's fighting Kenshiro, and I think Adrian was the one that told me that they've allegedly whooped his ass in sparring multiple times down here when he was in California. So taking him on a 2-week notice, I think he's gotten to fight in Japan, and he took it. So it's going to be really good on Sunday for us, right? I think it's Sunday.
Yeah.
Or is it? Because it's.
And maybe this is a good time to sort of segue in, because we want to talk about Jose Ramirez and the 14,000. That's sort of the business side of the sport. Before we get into the actual like X's and O's of the fights this weekend, I guess we talk about Jose Ramirez selling. What was the exact number, Gary, that you had there? It was what, 14,000?
Yeah, let me get he sold. They had 14,000 in attendance. I'll pull it up right now.
It was 14,000 total, and then 9,000 comps.
Yeah, and it was only like 306,000 that they.
Oh yeah, then I know
they
exactly.
Sold 4,117 exempt, so comps 9,062. And then I don't know what Deadwood is. Do you guys know what Deadwood is in that California thing?
It's tickets unaccounted for.
The tickets you don't sell.
853.
So they had leftover 853.
All right, here's what happened, okay, guys?
That means they could have given out 850 more or sold 850 more.
Here's what happened. That number... Hey, don't blow into the mic like that.
Sorry, I got it. Ooh.
That number is... Allegedly, I don't want to get sued here by Top Rank. Allegedly, that number is fraudulent. And here's simply how it's done. Okay? A lot of these tickets are hand delivered. They're hand tickets that you get the ticket stub from. Some are electronic, right? The commission never cares about the hand tickets, the ticket stubs. They never care about counting those.
Unless you're getting audited.
Unless you're getting audited. And even then,
they don't.
They really don't care. They do ask for the online ticket sales report, so that you cannot fabricate. But a lot of tickets, what happens is that the promoter prints them and then hands them out to all the ticket distributors he wants to give it to. So
can I kind of like, so when you have a local fight and someone says, where do I get tickets from? Come to the gym. And there's 3 or 4 people on the gym who are fighting on that card, and you get your ticket at the gym. That's what he's talking about, right?
Yeah.
How many tickets like that do they sell on these bigger shows? I would imagine they sell some, sure, absolutely, for sure. But how many are you really selling that way for a Top Rank fight?
On a local show, though, if you get a ticket seller, if you can get a good ticket seller, you can make a good $30,000 in ticket sales on one fighter. And then you don't fucking care if the others sell or not. They're selling bare minimum. 40 tickets, they're bare minimum.
You guys want to hear a funny story? You want to hear a funny? You remember James Kirkland?
Duh.
You remember James Kirkland?
James Kirkland, of course, the legend.
Okay. So he signed with this promoter, Davies Entertainment in San Antonio. And they got the Irwin Center at UT, which is like where the Texas Longhorns basketball, big venue, holds 16,000 people, right? And they told Kirkland, he can keep a percentage of whatever he sells, whatever the percentage was, right? You know how many tickets he sold? Take a guess.
Less than 100.
6.
No, that's happened.
I've been there. Are
you motivated? You're having a big money fight. If I'm letting you keep a percentage, right? Because like I'm a new promoter in town. I got James Kirkland, an Austin guy. We're gonna put a big card in Austin. We're gonna get this big venue. We're gonna sell, and you sell 6 tickets. Like that's not even your mom and all her friends. That's just like.
Right? Remember that one guy? We were like, "You have nobody," and then we felt so bad afterwards because remember we were
He
like,
sold 0 tickets.
"No, but
I'll
remember,
buy one, bro.
why can't you invite your parents?" And then he's like, "My parents are dead."
Yeah, bro, that was horrendous.
That was the worst, Gary. I felt I couldn't even like. What were you supposed to do in that situation? You're like, we're like, you couldn't even sell two tickets.
No, the exact conversation was I was the one that had the conversation with this fighter. Was I was like, do you have any friends, family? He's like, no, I don't have anyone. I'm like, fuck, bro, Jesus.
You're like, your parents?
Nah, they're dead. I was like, oh my god, I need to get out of this room. This is not. I can't.
Like, who did you think? But why did you say you could sell tickets? That's the issue.
He said he could sell like 60. We had one team say that they can sell 400 tickets, and they sold less than 40.
Yeah.
If there's someone else in your gym or like multiple people in your gym, right, and you think you can sell those tickets off, and someone else sells those tickets like in your gym, it's like, well,
we try to here. Well, while I've been doing this for a long time, we try to only get two guys from the same gym because we know that's an issue. Yeah, we can't. The more people you get from the same gym, like they're not going to be able to sell. Obviously,
they all have the same friends.
Exactly. When we can get like one guy from each city in LA, we can get one from Pico Rivera. We can get one from Montebello. They can sell at least 100 each.
But back to the point at hand about Jose Ramirez and
the numbers. Did you get the numbers?
Yes, it was 4,000 some odd sold, 9,000 some odd comped. The reality is, for let's say that show in particular, right? A lot of those guys on the undercard are local fighters, so they're being hand delivered tickets. I would even bet a guy like Jose Ramirez is hand delivering tickets.
Oh yeah,
still how many hints?
A lot.
So? Right.
I think because it's a way to put them on like consignment too. It's like, hey, I'm giving you these amount of tickets. You owe me this amount of money back, and it's a way of sort of looking at your sort of profit ahead of time because you can gauge. Okay, here's what I'm making. Online ticket sales are very, very slow, and they speed up in the last 2 to 3 days.
And also,
you don't have a window of what am I going to make on this show.
They also like when they're I forgot what I was going to say. When they're getting the tickets
in hand.
In hand, yes. Like some of the fighters will pay ahead. Yes. Like I'm going to pay for all of these tickets, and I'm just going to hope that I get the money back for them. But they're like, I'm sure Ramirez is rich enough to be like, oh, I owe you 10,000. Here you go. Let me give it to you. Give me the tickets, and then. If he gets the money back, he gets the money back.
That's how you get so many comps because you're basically giving the tickets away and you don't report that you're getting the money in return.
Right.
That's how they do it. Because now the ticket.
Because 9,000 comps is a lot of money.
We know this most of the time. It's in cash.
Yep.
Like it's and a guy like Jose Ramirez, if he wants to pay for 1,000 tickets to hand out, he'll pay that up front, and then he can make that money back. Because he's the one selling them.
Or his wife, or his tia, or his cousin, or his uncle. Somebody's making money on those motherfucking tickets. You know what I mean? They're Mexican for sure.
The reason why I think Jose Ramirez does that, because I've worked with Mexican fighters. I worked with Mexican fighters from the Valley specifically. That's how they operate.
When you say the Valley, what do you mean?
The Central Valley. The Central Valley.
There's a lot of valleys, because I'm from Coachella Valley.
The Central Valley.
Yeah, the Valley is one place in specific. It's the Rio
not San Fernando Valley. It's not.
San Fernando Valley is
the Valley.
The Rio Grande Valley. Stop at this. Texas, bro. I swear to God.
That's the Valley. When I say the Valley, I'm from the Valley.
That's the same river my grandma crossed, right? The Rio Grande.
So back to our point when we did like the first show, all three together, like a couple weeks ago, right? We talked about Jose Ramirez asking for that $1 million, right, to fight Prograde, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The reason why you have a Top Rank so willing to still operate their business with Ramirez in this way, because it devalues his star power in a sense. It devalues him because not all of his earnings or his revenue is actually reported. It's a way to undercut what he's actually profiting for the company, and they can just put that in another bank account and then switch it over a few times, and with bam boom, it's done.
Yeah.
You know,
Under $7,000.
and then you have the ESPN budget on top of it. They're paying $1 million plus per show. That's paying for everything already. So ticket sales are just the cream on top, and then most of it are probably underreported. Because I know a lot of promotions do underreport ticket sales. They do, and the commissions.
We're very aware of it.
Are very complicit in it.
Extremely complicit.
And it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
It's a shady business, Gary.
Allegedly. I don't want to throw
any other boxing podcast in the podcast stratosphere that knows local boxing like this one does.
Well, I'll say this, Gary. I guarantee not a single other boxing podcast has at least 2 people on it that have written out contracts, fight contracts, have done all the commission paperwork,
written checks to the commission.
You know,
yeah.
And Gary, you've been on the local scene for years, and
there's nothing I don't think we can do in a promotion right now that I wouldn't know how or who to access to get there.
And I'll say this: the media people that are like the local boxing media beat people, right? People that only come to the local shows, like you, Gary, they pick up on this stuff very fast.
Well, you're in the gym also. Gary's in the gym.
Like when Gary's the Shout to the Boxing Club podcast, people like they picked up on a lot very quickly.
Yes,
just because they go
on the local scene.
Just because they go to the local shows,
and they get to know people. They're doing the right thing. They're getting to know everybody. They're finding out who everybody is and what everybody does, and allegedly what our roles are.
You can't go talk to the matchmaker all the time as a media person if you're on a PBC card.
But knowing the matchmaker and knowing how they work is also good. You know, and they know that we know those things, so they talk to us, and they're very good at there's very few media companies that actually like do the local scene, so it's pretty easy.
Yeah, like when I did like Name Redacted in a past life, I never did local shows. Like I never did local
it's kind of crazy.
Like, he's from Jersey, right?
Yes.
He didn't go out to like club shows in Trenton, right? Like that's not what he does. Or
no.
Well, I honestly did think when I started speaking to you back in the day with Name Redacted, I honestly thought like you knew more about the local scene like I did. I was like, he has to know because the way but
that's totally
different. The local, it's very, very different.
In terms of just the people you interact with. There's a few crossovers, like for example, Tom Lawfer 360. He does local shows now. So you see a lot more cross-pollination with certain people, certain figures at a local show now. But if you go to a promotion that's never made it, you know, you're never going to see really the big people usually. You might see a big fighter here and there because they're a training partner or a gym buddy to somebody that's on the card. But that's, I think, more rare to where you're actually watching local boxing, right? Like if you're in a LA, New York, you know, Dallas, certain hot spots of boxing, you're going to see bigger names at local shows.
I thought like I would be on a local level doing local boxing shows. I thought like I would be speaking to fighters like on a lower level, and the amount of people that actually contact us because they need fights, it's kind of sad.
And
I mean, when you went like right away, I think the very first time when I started doing this, like Chris, I think it was Chris, not Chris Areola. Chris Avalos?
Chris Avalos.
Right, Avalos. Just had contacted me, and like he had just lost. So I was like,
we've had Ryan Martin contact us.
Martin, yeah, I mean, big names. I mean, and they want big contracts, and I have to kind of let them down and let them know, like,
what are they? I want to know what they're, because I've made fair offers to. I thought fair, like $1,000 a round is fair, right?
Yeah.
But $100 a round is what some minimum. So come on, 1,000.
No, I would say for a 4-rounder, it's the 1,000, 1,500 is the California average.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you're offering 1,000 a round, that's 4,000 for a 4-rounder.
But I can also pay travel with that too.
Right, but coming locally, right? Like so I'll give you $1,000 a round to come from Dallas to San Antonio, Fort Worth to San Antonio, and they say no, I don't. Now it's a fighter, a B-side fighter. You've seen on Top Rank. I'm not gonna give any names. You've seen on Top Rank a lot. So I don't know what Top Rank is paying him to be a B-side. But
wait, he's a B-side on Top Rank.
He's a B-side. He's got 15 losses. He's got 15 losses, right? He's a B-side, but he's a tough guy. He's rugged, and he takes things on short notice. I don't know what Top Rank pays for a B-side. I know they're paying your travel expenses.
Gary, hold on. Gary, in the private chat, put the name of the fighter. So we don't have to say it on air.
Yeah.
But I want to know, so maybe I can look up a purse for him. If he's on Top Rank, you can probably find a purse.
If not, we can find.
Okay, let me find it. Hold on, Gary. Hold on. What? I'll find out what card he was on. I would say this: the experiences I've had with those types of fighters is that they ask for at least 15 to 20,000. Right?
Oh shit! Huh?
No, that's asked me the wrong one.
Hang on. No. Hang on.
Did you get the wrong fighter?
No. Hang on. Because it's a common name, right? Hang on.
Yeah, real common.
We got a guy that was 58-1 and fought in the 80s and 90s.
Oh,
and I'm like, that's not him.
Shit.
That's not him. That's not him. I'm like, if that's his record, I can see why he laughed at Gary.
Well, no wonder he laughed at you for $1,000.
Look up that name I just put in the private chat.
Oh
and
my
make
God.
sure it's got that nickname. Put in.
That's what that says.
It's a long ass name.
No, just put it here.
Look for the city though.
Okay, I think I got it.
Make sure it says Texas.
Just put that name in.
Yeah. He's from Dallas. Yes.
Okay, scoot down 7.
Okay. Let's see.
Anybody on his record? Did he beat him?
He's got a lot of names, right?
And that's a
Diamond 4, Los Angeles, Gonzalez. Say this. You might figure it out.
Well, that's like 3 of my homies. Henry. Oh.
Stop saying names.
Another LA dude.
Oh, that was on that one card, huh? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
What is this?
Here in LA.
This was a PBC card, right? Oh no! See, California doesn't release their purses.
Pay-per-view.
I'm gonna try to find it, Gary. But I would say 15 to 20,000 is what they're usually asking for to go to a local show.
Yeah,
because they're gonna make 20 to 30,000 on a top rank show at least.
I'm trying to think of what was Barrera and what was Soto Caras's checks.
They were making big bank. Those were legends.
I wrote the checks for all the fight. I just don't remember.
Well, weren't the checks super low? But we know that they were making all the money.
I mean, yeah, in that hotel room, they were counting like at least like $400,000 or $500,000 in cash.
Yeah,
that was
again boxing's underreporting a lot of the revenue.
But I remember writing checks and they weren't that big, but they weren't also that low.
I will say this. I will change what I say. Revenues in air quotes, because again, it's a lot of cleaning of money, so to speak, allegedly. Anyways, Gary, I don't know if we talked enough about the Jose Ramirez. If we want to get back to the actual fights.
The pay-per-view numbers.
Yeah, let's get into
Let's go back.
Let's talk boxing. I put the business side.
Yes. Okay. So first up, let's talk about Shakur Stevenson on ESPN Top Rank fighting. I'm going to try to pronounce this name. Kenshiro Yoshino. Who is 16-0. Oh,
horrible box rec photo. Boo boo kitty. You can just send that. Yeah, that's a rough photo.
I need to pull this one
You
up.
really got to see this one. This one's
rough.
This one's real rough.
Why would they do this boy like this?
Well,
look at that, Gary. Look at the screen. He has frosted tits, man.
And they're frazzled.
That's rough. That's not a good look there. Like Gary said, I mean
17 pro bouts. Go back. What is his actual record? 16-0. Oh,
with 12 knockouts. I mean, he's knocked out a bunch of local guys.
Has he ever fought outside of?
I mean, Masayuki Nakatani is a good fighter. So is Mizuki Iota. Those are two good fighters.
Has he fought outside of Japan?
No.
Okay.
But he's fought guys that have.
I'm not saying nothing. I'm just asking if he's fought outside of Japan.
I was gonna do research on him and like scout him, but I just didn't get around to it. Like he's got some names on his resume. I've probably seen one of these fights, but when you watch a stream of Japanese fighters, like everything's in Japanese. So if you don't know the fighter, you can't.
You're like, I think that's where he is.
It's Spanish where the letters are the same, right? Like, okay, I can make out some words. Like, I can't make out any words. The names are written in a completely different alphabet. Like, no, I can't. I can't.
I understand.
No, it's not Nakatani. I don't know these guys. Right? I've probably seen it because I watch a lot of Japanese boxing, but because the names aren't even written in, like the names are written in Japanese, right? So it's like I can't read any.
It's like watching like Russian boxing streams, like Eastern European boxing streams back in the day. Like you don't know what's happening.
You hope you get the shorts, the color of the shorts right, and then like root that guy on.
Like, you hope you know the fighter going into it.
Yeah.
Also on the card, Keyshawn Davis versus Anthony Yigit. That's an all right fight, I guess.
I think it's a good step up.
Anthony Yigit.
It's a good step up, but like, how's Anthony Yigit still fighting?
Right.
I'm confused. Like, the guy had brain damage. Like, I don't.
He has brain damage. You mean?
Like,
that doesn't go away.
In another world, a better world, a guy like Anthony Yigit would have got like a severance package to like survive on until he finds another career.
But it's boxing, so he's gonna fight Mr. Davis and get knocked out.
But Yigit is the one that beat Joe Hughes, and then he fought in the World Boxing Super Series, right?
Yes.
He's not that very good. I mean, he's not trash or anything like that, but like he's not very good. Like he's not terrible.
No.
He's a pro, but he's not very good. Like
29
Joe
fights.
Hughes, so he's not like trash or anything. But like
he's a B. He's a B level guy.
He's a B level. Or C, maybe.
And Keyshawn Davis is a blue chip prospect.
And he's just moving up, so it's acceptable.
We have Jared Anderson versus George Arias, 2 undefeated heavyweights.
That's a good fight right there. George Arias is not going to win because Jared Anderson is different, but George Arias is a top 10 to 15 heavyweight.
Troy Isley of the Isley brothers is fighting on the card against Roy Behringer.
It's not the Isley brothers. Is it really?
No, it's not.
Don't say that.
He's the great grandson of the Isley brothers.
No, it is not the Isley brothers.
And that's it from people I know. Is Kelvin Davis, is that one of the brothers?
Well, Carrington.
Yeah.
Is that the good one? That's like the youngest. That's everyone says is the really.
He's 7-0.
No, he's the oldest one. He's the one that fought on the Canelo undercard against Billy Joe and got knocked down.
Saunders, Billy Joe Saunders.
I'm not trying to say he's the least of the Davis brothers, but he's the least of the Davis brothers.
The Kelvin Davis, yes, it was named. Yeah. Dude, Kelvin. That's a rough name.
Yeah. Why did they name him Kevin?
They're all K's.
Why didn't they name him Kevin? Okay, Gary. I mean, any like, I don't know.
Who's on the next card?
I don't know. You pick any upsets here, or is it A sides down the line?
No, like, I would want to pick George Arias to pull an upset, but like he's not going to beat Jared Anderson. Like he beat an undefeated guy named Alante Green on the Hall of Fame card, the Showbox card. He's got to win over Cassius Chaney. Like he's good, but he's not going to beat Jared Anderson. And he's already like 31, 32, so they want to push him up quickly. So it's like, okay. But like Jared Anderson, and I tweeted this, Jared Anderson beats Anthony Joshua right now.
I know you said that on the last show, Gary. You said that. Guys, come on.
It sucks so much.
I'm really gonna be the Anthony Joshua defender here.
You have to be if you want to. I mean, go ahead.
I'll say this: Jared Anderson is definitely going to win against George Arias, though it is a really, really good fight. Jared Anderson, I think, is just a level above. He's probably the best U.S. heavyweight prospect we have.
In a while, too. He's good, man. He's good.
He's really good. I still don't think he beats AJ off rip. I mean,
beats him up.
George Anderson has to fight anyone to the level of competition of Anthony Joshua. Not even close.
I don't want to say anything.
He's a prospect. He's not even a contender yet.
I have only bad things to say about Anthony Joshua and his last performance, so I choose to say nothing at all.
I want Jared Anderson to beat like a Chisora or Dylan White first, and then
that'd be so fun if he beat a Dylan White. I'd be so happy.
Or a messed out Joseph Parker. These are all
Good,
things I'm down
yes.
for. You know,
A good Joseph Parker in Australia or something.
yeah, I'm down. I'm down with those fights. Andy Ruiz, you know, he beats Andy Ruiz.
That'll be fun in LA.
I know it's hard because of promoter stuff, but like, yeah, those are the names he has to beat for me to think he beats AJ.
But he'll still beat AJ.
Shakur Stevenson, though. I mean, we talked about this either at the top of the show or before the show started about Shakur facing the winner of Haney Loma after this. I think I said that if Haney wins, it's a question mark. I think Haney can go fight Gervonta Davis or Ryan Garcia for more money.
Right.
But if Loma wins, automatic in-house fight with the older fighter versus the younger fighter. It's what the top rank loves to do.
We love to. Well, you want to make money to get.
Let's say, regardless of who wins that fight, that's Loma. The next fight for Shakur Stevenson.
Loma.
You're. I know you're picking Loma against David Haney. I'm not picking
Loma.
Yeah,
I love Loma. Loma's he's just
Gary
perfect.
Hates Loma.
I think he's perfect. We take a little bit to download. Don't get crazy, okay?
He's perfect. What about Inoue?
Inoue, he also...
He said he'd fight Inoue at 26. Matt, Inoue stops him, right?
I was going to say, Inoue at 122 is where we end. I don't want to go any further.
No, wait.
I choose Inoue at 118.
Inoue versus Loma at 120, which is where Loma should be fighting. Loma should be fighting at 26. Inoue stops him.
If Loma and Inoue happen at 126, who you picking?
Inoue.
Inoue? Okay.
Easy.
Back to my question, guys.
Go ahead.
Shakur Stevenson versus Loma or Haney. Who are we picking?
Shakur?
Against both?
Yeah.
That's what
I'm not saying wrong.
I don't want Loma to fight him.
It's a risky pick. I like it. Gary?
Against the only guy I pick him to beat him is Tank. But I'd pick Shakur against anyone, so I pick Shakur to beat either one of those guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, me too. Just because I know, like, my heart chooses Loma. My heart is like with Ukraine, but then it's not. You know,
it's trying to be.
It's not that. Wait, I said it's not. You know what I mean? If we didn't have a war, maybe it'd be different. But like, you know,
have a war with the fake country of Ukraine.
Fake country.
I will just say this.
But love the camouflage photos. Keep them coming. Loma in uniform. Usyk in uniform. Keep them coming, honey.
All respect to the Donetsk and Luhansk People's Republic. All respect to them.
Whatever you say.
Digressing.
Okay.
Shakur definitely a pick against Loma. I think this Loma is too small, too old.
He's too old.
And I think Shakur would just pick him apart at range.
Yeah, this is it.
But Haney, that's a tough fight for Shakur, I think. Because Shakur isn't automatically better than him at range. He isn't automatically better at defense.
With that fight,
he isn't automatically better with a jab.
That fight,
135 for all the belts.
Okay. How old do you think Shakur is?
How old is Shakur? 25, 26?
Is he
so he was 19. In 2012, he was 19. So that was... in 2016, he was 19. He was 2016, so he was 19. That was 7. So he's about 25, 26.
Okay.
And Haney's probably about the same age.
So he just stopped growing. So we're not going to grow anymore. We're not going to get any more on our stance. We're not going to get any more height, weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, him and Haney are probably about equal in terms of like reach, height.
Shakur and Haney?
Yeah, they're probably about close. Maybe Haney's a little taller.
Oh, yeah.
He's 25.
But I bet the reach is the same.
And Haney is how old?
I can look it up.
About the same age. So he's a year older than Bam, right? So he's 24. Bam was the youngest champion in the world, and then Bam was the younger when Bam won the world title. Bam just turned 24.
That sounds crazy.
I mean, they're two guys in their prime. It's a tough fight for me. I mean, I might lean Shakur because I've always been high on Shakur as a fighter.
Yeah.
And I've always been a little bit lesser on Devin Haney.
I'd say Shakur.
But Haney has impressed me lately.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no two ways about it. I mean, if Haney comes out here and blows away Loma, how can I not be impressed and think that he has a chance to beat Shakur? I mean, that's a 50-50
Why are you
fight
putting
to
it
me.
out in the universe?
I think
he's not gonna blow him out though. He'll win. Like I pick him to win, but he's not gonna blow him out. Like he'll win, but like, and it's a win over Loma, so it's impressive no matter what. But he's not gonna go out there and like steamroll him, right? Like
you can only hope.
No, not like Orlando Salido. Yeah, you're right. It's not gonna happen.
I'm not gonna hit him low 30 times and miss weight
Not
by
something
5
to
pounds.
talk about. If you know me, you're a Loma fan. Just don't even bring up.
That's just like a decade ago too. That's
yeah,
hilarious.
so long ago.
That's back in HBO.
I got to meet Salido,
HBO.
and he doesn't speak a word of English, but it was still the coolest thing. Like you're the one that solved the Matrix. Like I like you.
Isn't he like now like in like the Mexican Congress?
Is he?
I don't know. Imagine I figure out that Orlando Salido's in the Mexican Congress. I'm all trying to become a fucking citizen over there. No, I'd be angry. I'd be angry. I'd be like, fight me.
Look, the reality is that he beat Loma. It's okay. It's okay. Loma's better all time. It's okay. He just beat him. Moving on to
Astro is on the card though. Bam.
Moving to Gary's marquee of the weekend. Jesse Bam Rodriguez.
Who's the matchmaker? Real quick, just
Auditor, right?
Kevin Rooney.
Kevin Rooney. Yeah.
I don't know who Kevin Rooney is.
Me either.
I've met him before.
You've met him, but he's been with Matchroom for years.
Yeah.
And his dad was a trainer.
Okay. I'm happy. I just seen MJ was fighting. And we're fighting against Philippines.
Marlon Tapales.
I love Marlon. Mr. Tapales, he can take so much.
Jesse Magdaleno's
fighting Ford, which is, remember I told you Jesse Magdaleno was
Thomas Matisse versus an undefeated fighter, Romero Cezina.
It's a good call.
And,
Madrimov is on the card as well.
Is he still?
It's a pretty good card. And Mark Castro. Sorry, I forgot about Mark Castro. I mean, Gary, much better card in depth from the Top Rank event, if we're going to be quite honest here. Not even a question. And also not really a question is Bam Rodriguez winning this fight.
Look at those percentage rates.
When's he going to fight like somebody that we care about again?
Love Bam. Don't get upset. Don't get upset. Don't ignore him, Gary. Ignore him because Bam had one night off. And he wants to like make a big deal out of it. Don't ignore him, Gary. Okay.
It was a bad night off.
One.
See, because
night off.
I said Bam Rodriguez was all types of special, all types of different. He was one of the best fighters I've ever seen, and everyone like was skeptical. I remember when he fought Quadras. I told Hans from Boxing Insider and Chris Algieri he's the best fighter from Texas I'd ever seen, and that includes Errol Spence. And they both sat and laughed at me. And by the 5th round, Hans was like, Errol who? I was like, I told you. Like, he's just a 112-pounder, and you guys don't pay attention to him. Bam Rodriguez is something completely different. He's like Manny Pacquiao made a baby, and the result is Bam Rodriguez. He's incredible. And so he's in a tough spot, right? The money's at 15. His brother's at 15. He's not a real 115-pounder. He's a 112-pounder. Coming up from our weight, right?
He's looking pretty big in the division now.
If he stands next to Josh, right? If he stands next to Josh, they're not the same size.
Yeah, but Josh has gone up to 118 to fight.
He has.
How tall are they?
Bam is 5'4". Josh is probably 5'6".
Let's look it up.
Short.
Let's see who's taller. 5'4". Okay, and see Joshy.
I say Josh is 5'6".
Joshua. Mr. Franco. Wrong. He did not.
Wrong one.
Right away, wrong one. Same height.
No, they have it listed the same. 5'4".
Should we tell him to look up? That's you better have him line the fuck up.
You can go to my Facebook. I know you guys don't have Facebook.
Gary. I don't know.
For you.
Box record Gary.
My Facebook profile picture is me with Bam and Josh. And
I hope you're with both.
The same size. It's like they list Barrios as 5'10", right? I'm 5'11". I'm standing right next to him. He ain't 5'11". He ain't 5'10". He's 6'1".
You should see the picture of me and Mari said that. Remember when Mari wore the
Marcelo's
boots? You know Mari, right?
Marcela Conejo.
Conejo, right?
The one that was in the red bathing suit.
Titties out, right? Okay, well, I went to a long ass time ago. It was like 2015, and she was wearing these huge boots. I'm 5 foot, so she was a good,
she's like
good
6'2"
with those boots. The photo of us is ridiculous. I'm at her waist. Like, it's so embarrassing because me and Sean Porter in the next photo are exactly the same.
Sean Porter's a very small man.
Yeah, compared to Mari.
Like, Sean Porter might be the same size as Jesse Bam Rodriguez.
Yeah, 5'4" is... What does it say? How many what? 163 centimeters.
It's gonna be the same height as the 5'4". On the other one,
I just need to know in centimeters, okay, sir.
Yeah, you know the metric system there.
No, because they measured me when I went to my last appointment in centimeters. She was like, "Yours 163."
Is the U.S. going metric now?
Where's your doctor in the UK? Like, where did they do that?
Dude, it's California, man.
Dude, I was like,
we're going Medicare.
It's definitely Medicare.
Definitely government
assistance. But that's going to be a good fight. I didn't know MJ was on the card.
Let's talk about MJ and Marlon Tapales. That's a really good fight. MJ is a guy that he's good. He's not gonna be a champion for long. I don't know if Tapales has it in him because he's older, you know?
Yeah.
But he has a lot of experience. He's battle tested, so I think he's going to last the distance with MJ.
Yeah.
Now MJ has to win 7 rounds plus.
At Super Bantam.
I don't know. I mean, MJ's always been one of those guys I question his longevity. I think he has a really good style, but he tires out fast.
Is it really 12 rounds?
He doesn't really, I think, have a great boxing IQ, to be quite honest.
No, maybe 6 rounds. He's okay. Does he really? Is it how long?
It's a 12-rounder. It's a title fight.
That's gonna be big. MJ doesn't have the stamina.
No, he tires out by round 8.
That's what I'm saying. Because Tapales is tough and gritty. Like, I'm gonna pick MJ, but the longer this goes, like the more the odds start to go in the favor of Tapales. I'm gonna pick MJ. MJ's better. But the longer this goes and the scrappier it gets, the more and more it's going to start to favor Tapales. Like this could be a really, really good fight. This might be a really, really good fight. But I'm going to pick MJ in a grind, in a battle. Like, he's going to eke it out. I think he's going to win enough rounds early to carry the day. But he could get stopped late too. Like, that could happen. Like, he kind of fades. Like, he looks great early, and if he doesn't get a knockout, then he kind of just goes through the motions. And Tapales is a rugged guy. I'm going to pick MJ. I think this fight's really good. I think Magdalena is going to beat Raymond Ford. Eddie Vasquez beat the heck out of Raymond Ford.
If Magdalena wants to come back, he can. That'd be a nice fight for Magdalena to come back on if he beat the fuck out of Raymond Ford and just came back.
Raymond Ford definitely hasn't impressed me.
No, not me either.
But I mean, Magdaleno has been so inconsistent. I mean, how can I judge him as a fighter?
Yeah, it's been really difficult.
Raymond Ford.
Wow, how long has it been since he fought?
Who?
Magdaleno.
Well, he's fought recently.
On where?
He fought last year in May.
That's not recent. A year
ago, and then before that, 2 years.
You see what I mean?
Right when COVID started, and then before COVID.
Because we thought he was going to retire, remember?
Gary, what were you saying?
Raymond Ford. We're talking about Raymond Ford. I'm just saying he's a guy that looks spectacular against bad competition, right? With his speed and his reflexes and his ability to box up the back foot. But then once he steps up, it's kind of like, like, it's just not really like I can see why Matchroom liked him and why they signed him and why he was a good amateur, but like at this level against elite fighters.
Yeah, I wouldn't put him against Jesse Magdaleno. That's probably not a good idea.
Yeah, but
have him on this card is a good idea, but not against Jesse Magdaleno. That looks a little desperate.
Yeah, but then they're just gauging on like where Magdaleno's at right now. I get the matchup. I mean, it's rough.
Magdaleno didn't get isn't he off of Top Rank?
Yeah.
So then why would he? Is this Matchroom card?
Yes.
Oh no. Okay.
Because I bet picked up Magdaleno as a free agent, and they're wondering
let's gauge him.
What
Let's
really do
figure
we
it out.
have here? Like, can we let's
get
throw him out
1 or
fast?
2 fights, or let's give him 4.
Yeah.
What do we do?
And by the way, Gary, I'm with you on MJ winning slightly, but I think we're all in agreement that Stephen Fulton and Inoue would knock out MJ.
100%.
Yeah.
Inoue would ice him, like posterize him.
Oh, MJ, he'd be like,
you can't be that. You can't like that. That was the one fight when he was at 22. I never liked for Brandon Figueroa, right? Because even though Brandon's way bigger, like I'm like, if Inoue goes up at 22 and fights Brandon, I don't care how big you are. You cannot stand in front of this man. Like he's gonna destroy you.
It's not worth
That's
it.
the one fight. Like, and now I'm glad that Brandon's at 22 and 126 because I mean, Inoue is not gonna go up to 26. Yeah. Like that's the one fight. Like you just can't let this guy hit you. Like that's the wrong fight with this guy. And like he'd hit MJ, and if he hits you, he's gonna take your head off.
No, I absolutely agree. Mark Castro on the card. Elon Musk, a legitimate child. Always like seeing him fight. He's a good prospect. He's probably the only solid prospect that Matchroom really has at this point. Like U.S. prospect, I should specify.
Love Castro.
Would you call Ammo Williams a prospect, or was he a contender? You know, it's like, who do you consider a prospect?
I don't know if he could
even if he is a prospect, I don't rate him above Mark Castro.
No, not at all. Mark Castro has shown us he has a 93% KO rate. Like he's pretty intense. Even under like Mark Castro.
No, that's my probability.
Against the Rich Torres.
It's not the Richard Torres.
Not the.
It's not the Richard Torres. Okay, come on.
He's still good standing against his opponents right now. Mark Castro.
No, I think Mark Castro is just a more polished fighter at this point. I think he's more ready for the pros. Like his offense to me is more consistent. He makes less mistakes than Ammo Williams. Like, and let's be honest, Ammo is a little bit of a head case. Where like I don't know where he's gonna be at in 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, a year. I have no idea.
Weird, because if you talk to him, and I've spoken to him several times, he's
Same.
the nicest, most down to earth, normal person that you could talk to. You talk to him, and he's just like a regular guy, and then he does really weird stuff. Like what goes on? Like I don't know.
So
moving on to the next cards for the sake of time, Sebastian Fundora versus Brandon Mendoza on BoxRec.
You've got 2 fights.
They have 2 fights listed. So that means only 2 fights have been approved yet by the commission.
But La Quinta's on there.
And it's Wednesday, guys. It's Wednesday, and only 2 fights have been approved by the commission that they're showing to the public right now.
But this has happened before with PBC and BoxRec. Like, and then like tomorrow they'll have 7 fights up there.
He's the nicest.
I wonder if it's a California thing. Because California, I feel like we do like the hidden fights a lot where certain fighters are coming in from
they say that it's because of that reason that you're gonna say now. That's what they say, but I'm not quite sure that that's exactly the reason. Also, I think that's a cover
for what?
Not putting up on BoxRec so that you don't have to. I don't know.
So, like the reason we've always been told that some fights get hidden on BoxRec is that certain fighters are coming in and they don't have work visas to come in. So they're getting paid under the table in a sense, and then going back to the home country
with the check,
with cash. So that's why a lot of fights end up being hidden. There's also ones that where if let's say it's not official yet for a variety of reasons, one side hasn't okayed it, the commission hasn't okayed it, the weight needs to be changed, whatever, fights get hidden.
On a Wednesday though, by tomorrow it better be
weigh-ins will always
obviously the
commission makes them all approved.
It has to be by tomorrow at 12 o'clock supposedly. But
let's say for example, right, you have 8 fights on this card, right? So you have 6 fights that are hidden right now on BoxRec. Those 6 fights, if they're already on BoxRec by, let's say, Sunday before fight week, Andy Foster's already approving them.
Yeah.
So you can unhide them if you want.
2 days before.
No, he's doing way before. He's doing heading into fight week. If it's on BoxRec, Andy Foster or what's his name? Lee. They're
approving
approving it. So it is a little bit late. It's not unheard of. It's just.
And Witt's the matchmaker. Witt's really good. Witt's one of the best matchmakers. Yeah, of course.
I'm assuming that there's just a lot of fighters that are coming out of the country.
Yeah.
We probably have 6 more fights on this card or 4 more fights on this card, and all the B-sides are from Mexico.
Yeah.
So they don't have work visas, and they're just coming here to get some cash and go back home.
We have Dr. Khan. Dr. Khan.
But anyway, Sebastian Fedor versus Brandon Mendoza. Sebastian Fedor, one of the best prospects around right now. Brandon Mendoza obviously coming off that big win against Jason Rosario, former champion, or was it unified champion, right? Wasn't he a unified champion at one point? I mean, I think this fight's gonna be fun while it lasts, but Sebastian Fedor should win this
easy.
I think he's a Gary. No, Gary's gonna pick Mendoza. I see
no,
this is the same thing as you said.
Texas.
Easy. I'm gonna take Fedor.
No, he's not.
Okay. I mean, I'm from Texas, and I still won't pick it.
Gary.
No, he's not from Texas. He's not from town. Mendoza's a game. I know he lost to Ramos. I guess he's got another loss in his career too. He's tough, man. Like, okay, let me ask you this. Jesus Ramos and Sebastian Fedor. Who would you pick in that fight?
Ramos.
I'm gonna get hate for this. Sebastian Fedor.
I know he'd pick Fedor.
Right, I think Ramos would dog walk him. And I know that
he's too short to dog walk him. How would he dog walk him?
He has to get really down
that's
close.
That's a big leash, no? I mean, I'm not picking Ramos to win, so don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that's a big leash. You know what I mean?
It's tough to fight Fedor. I get it, right? Because how do you even spar for someone who's 6'7"?
Yeah.
Weight, right? I mean, you spar a guy who's 6'2". That's not even close to the same thing. Like I met Fedor, and that guy's like massive. Like I'm taking a picture with him, right? And it's like, you know, like he's that tall and long, right? Like I get it. But, like, is he all that good besides just being tall and awkward? Like,
stop.
Just besides that body, is he all that good?
You don't think he's a good swarmer? You don't think he's really good at combination punching? You don't think he's really good at body work for being that tall? You don't think he sets up the jab?
For being that tall, like,
well, that's what gets you paid when you're fucking 6'7", you get paid to be a basketball player, but because you're that tall.
But Gary, I mean, I feel like we're knocking him for a physical attribute that benefits him. Yes, it does benefit him. I don't think anyone's saying that it doesn't benefit him, but we can't like take it away out of the equation right now. We're not doing pound for pound here. We're talking about in his division, who does he beat? Who does he stack up against? I have to include his height and his reach and how he uses it.
Yeah.
And even then, as an inside fighter, he's really good.
Yeah.
As an inside fight with Ramos, for example, because I know we're kind of skipping ahead from Brian Mendoza, poor guy. But from Jesus Ramos, he could still beat Ramos in an inside fight. That's not out of the question. I think it's a harder fight if that's the majority of where the fight takes place for Sebastian Fedor. But it's not unwinnable.
No.
I think
have it in Carson.
I mean, that's a great fight. I would love to see it, but Fedor can absolutely win that, just like Ramos can win it.
I think Ramos at 154 already beats everyone in that weight class.
Stop it! He does not beat Jamel Charlo.
No,
he
does not.
Yeah, he does.
I love Ramos, but he doesn't. Because I've seen Ramos's like 2 last fights. We can just look back on those 2, and then you'll
the last one was Spencer. But the one you're going to say wasn't good was Mendoza.
Before Spencer, that was fucking.
When he struggled, and he didn't really struggle, and he lost like 2 rounds. Was the Mendoza fight? I'm telling you, Mendoza is good. I'm pick Fedor to beat Mendoza. That's a good fight, man.
I'll say this:
it'll be fun.
We also have to show respect to Tim Tszyu. Because what he did to Tony Harrison.
He did that.
He did. What is Tim Tszyu's path to victory against Jesus Ramos?
Wait, what was that?
What is Tim Tszyu's path to victory against Ramos?
Against Ramos.
The same path as any guy that's a combination boxer puncher. Hit him with more combinations than the other guy. And Tim Tszyu has heavy hands. Like we're talking about 2 guys who have knockout power.
He's got heavy hands, right? That's his saving grace, right? But like he's first of all, Ramos is an underrated boxer. He's got skills. He's not just this big plotting guy that comes after you. He's got way more skills than that. So he can box with you, right? And how are you going to keep him off you? That kid's a monster. You know, he came about 140. Like, I couldn't imagine him at 140. But, like, he's heavy-handed. He's strong as an ox. Like, he's David Benavidez with skills. Like, you're not keeping him off of you. I don't
skills? The disrespect to my
That
boy
was
David
so
Benavidez.
Disrespectful.
Because he knows I'm a big David Benavidez.
No, I think Benavidez beats Canelo. I picked David. I'm not disrespecting Benavidez. I like Benavidez.
I love Benavidez, but I mean,
I think Ramos. If you had to draft all the prospects who are 23 and under.
I had 2 fights ago. Ramos was.
Hold on, let me finish.
I pick him first.
Okay, go.
No,
Go.
I mean, look. Ramos is a great contender in this division, but to put him automatically above Tim Tszyu, automatically above Sebastian Fedor, I can't do that. I can't. I think they're all around the same level. They've all beat around the same level of competition at this point in time. You know, Sebastian Fedor has a win against Erickson Lubin.
Fedor's got better resume.
Tim Tszyu has a win against Tony Harrison. Ramos, what's his biggest win?
He won.
He's got Mendoza and then Joey Spencer, and then that
was fun.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, no, Fedor's got a better resume. For sure.
Hold on, I'm looking up right now.
And then he's got
oh shit. Oh wait.
Luke Santa Maria.
Anyone at that level.
No.
Luke Santa Maria is no good?
What?
Luke Santa Maria is no good?
Is he Tony Harrison?
No, I said no. Tim Tszyu's definitely got a better resume. I said Fedor's got a better resume too. But Santa Maria's got wins over Devin Alexander and Michael Fox. Like he's a pretty good fighter.
I mean, yeah, he's a good fighter. He's no Tony Harrison.
No.
It's Lubin.
Those guys have better resumes. They have better resumes than Ramos. I grant that 100%.
All right. Anyways, we have to move on because I can't.
Look at that picture.
We're gonna be on this forever. Brandon Lee's also on the card against Pedro Campa. I like that fight. Brandon Lee hasn't really impressed as of late, so.
But we're 27-0, and we're from La Quinta, California.
I wouldn't be surprised if Pedro Campa pull off an upset because Brandon Lee hasn't been that great.
We won't, but
he's kind of won some robberies. If we're gonna be quite honest about that,
we're fine.
Is he still at 40 or is he at 47 now?
40.
He should fight Omar Juarez.
He'd get beat. He's not going to fight him. He's going to take six more fights.
Don't hype up Gary like that.
Brandon
Lee can beat Omar Juarez. Stop it.
Omar Juarez is so cute. No, do not disrespect. He's got great skin.
Okay, serial killer. Moving on to the last card of the weekend: Kenshiro Taraji versus Anthony Ola.
Preciosa. I don't know. No, don't. We're Seguga. I don't know.
Yeah. Kenshiro should win this one.
But he's from Maywood. We're cheering him on. He's 5-0.
This poor boy.
Why are they putting him against him? But even he fought Edwin Reyes from
does he have an amateur career?
I don't know.
He must.
He's in Maywood. And he's from Maywood, so he's from Los Angeles. But I mean, they say he's good. I mean, I've talked to his stablemates. Honestly, I've talked to his stablemates, and his stablemates have said that he's prepared for this, and they think that he's gonna beat Yoshino. So I mean,
he's beaten guys like Saul Juarez, who we know. So like, he's already beat like a veteran.
And the fact that
anyone who hasn't beaten Saul Juarez, though, to be fair,
stop, bro, don't beat him.
15, 16, 17 fights of his.
I think the guy banned fighting also beat Saul Juarez. I think that's like the biggest name on his resume.
It is. I'll put it this way. His last 3 losses and 3 fights, it goes in chronological order. Bam. Mm-hmm. The guy Bam's fighting now. And then this guy that's fighting Kenshiro.
And look who's before that.
Axel,
our little mini.
Axel Vega, yes.
Our little mini. Everybody loves mini.
105 pounds. Gary, any final thoughts on the Japanese card before we head out of here?
No. No.
What else we got?
No.
Real quick. What would y'all grade? Give him a letter grade. Anthony Joshua performance.
Oh, the grade C.
Letter grade. C? Is that
yes.
C plus?
I'm giving a
C
C plus. I'm okay with a C plus.
It was a very bad performance.
There were spots that I could give him a C plus.
I will admit, as an Anthony Joshua somewhat fan, that I'm holding on to certain moments that we haven't seen in some time. I will fully admit that.
Dude, when I see the when I honestly,
the highlight
when
reel
I see the highlight
the
reels of him back in the day, I get excited and what happened? Where's that person?
He needs to see it like a sports psychologist and there's a mental block there.
We can figure it out. I promise you.
Do you want to talk to AJ?
AJ, we just let's yoga in and let's figure it out, boo boo. Because
AJ said, and I quote, "I can't wait to get back to Texas. I feel you, AJ. That's how I feel whenever I have to
see. I think he means at heart, Texas at heart, and I feel the same way. Texas at heart. I'm never going back there, but I mean Texas at heart.
Texas.
I mean at heart. Like I said, at heart. Physically, mentally, I have to be in California because they're the only people that care. But I mean, Texas, unfortunately, is where I was born. You know, I was born there. I can't deny.
Gary, get rid of Abbott and do something with that, and then we'll talk about Texas. Okay.
I don't know what to do about the governor. I mean, if they don't elect Greg Abbott, they're gonna elect someone just like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
Like
good old Texas.
Governors, is there governors are just placed there by the party, and then if you live in a blue state, you get a blue. You know what I'm saying? Like governors are
we're already lost at that point.
Like who's a good governor? Like there are no good governors. Like it doesn't exist, right? Because the turnout in governor elections is very low. So whoever, if you live in a blue state, the Democrats put the governor there, and if you live in a red state, the Republicans put the governor there. And if you want to get rid of that guy, they'll just put someone exactly like him in there too. Governors. It's.
Anyways, Gary.
Is Kiko Martinez on the card? Is that real?
Kiko Martinez is on what card?
Whoa, wait a minute.
He's on Japan. The Kenshiro card.
In Japan. Wait, what the fuck?
Dude, shout out to my Spanish brethren right here.
Wow, look at who is he fighting? Who? What is it?
What's the guy's name? Rhea
Abe.
Abe. It's not pronounced Abe.
Well, I mean, you could say Abe because his name is A-B-E.
We went through this whole thing when Trump was calling the Japanese president at the time Abe.
Can you keep moving it along?
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to head out of here. Gary, final thoughts before we leave.
Check me. I'll be at the BAM fight. Last time BAM fought in San Antonio, and I was there. I was on TV. That was cool.
We're going to be looking for you, Gary.
Yeah. But I'll be in San Antonio for the BAM fight. But that's really it. It's April 5th, 2023. Texas is still not a country. Make Texas a country again. From Texas to the world. Thank you, and God bless.
Melody, final thoughts?
Love Texas, but don't make it a country. That's all I have to say. Love you, Gary. Gare Bear in Texas.
Dude, we don't need a passport to come to see you. Come on, that'd be crazy.
I mean,
I have an enhanced driver's license. Like you get the enhanced driver's license. You don't need a passport to go to Mexico, right?
So we're good.
As long as the balkanized U.S. ends up kind of not like one for one, obviously, like the EU, where you can just get on a train and go anywhere and it doesn't matter.
Because I'm born in Texas. I don't. It don't matter, babe. We don't have to worry. I'm born in Texas. I have to get my birth certificate in Texas. So don't worry. Whatever happens, I'm born there.
We can go to the country of Texas.
The country will work out for us.
Texas.
The Republic of Texas. Can't breathe. Okay.
I love it, Gary.
Love you, Gare Bear. Good night.
Hit the like button, share the show, all that fun stuff. If you're watching this, obviously on YouTube on Fridays, when I'm going to upload it on my channel, and I think I'm going to upload on your channel as well on Friday.
Yes.
And obviously Texas Boxing Scene as well. Check out Gary's channel. You'll be there with Bam Rodriguez in the trenches.
You better give us some updates, Gary. We need to know what's going on.
You know I will.
Have a good night or good evening or whenever you're watching the show. Peace.